his head, and there he goes. Abyss gonna clean him up.
Olaf goes down. Everyone's just gonna line up here for Lazzy. He's gonna find himself the Quadra. Give it to him. Pentakill.
Priestley with the quad feed.
Gets the ace. Available, just spin to win all over.
That game was insane.
Good evening, Saints Nation, and thank you for joining us here on the Saints Gaming CA channel. Of course, your home for the St. Clair Saints varsity esports team. Bet you weren't exactly expecting to see us once again here tonight, but this did happen to fall into our lap in regards to everything lining up correctly. Of course, we're going to have ourselves a new matchup here with an old foe, as St. Clair College get to go up against Northwood University in CCL regular season action. My name's Dan Banner, also known as Mr. Danner, is going to be our producer and host here for tonight's action. And I'll tell you what, the St. Clair squad has been rather stubborn to their opponents so far, almost as stubborn as my son's inability to sleep. But nonetheless, we'll have to see if they can continue this here. They're trying to go 4-0 in the group right now, coming off of a win, a very strong and decisive win, it sounds like, too, versus Rutgers University Green. And that was a 3-0 fashion there for them. So far, I don't think they've dropped a map at all so far in this entire season. Granted, it's only been 3 games, been like a week and a half of games, but still a solid start nonetheless. And who else but Northwood to threaten that? Because we've had constant battles here with Northwood over and over again. As of right now, I believe the only team of ours that have beaten Northwood in anything is a League of Legends team back in the Drury Esports Invitational for League of Legends, of course. So, obviously, the Saints wanted to get back. I know my Rocket League squad always seem to fight hard, but they always barely get us. Same thing, I believe, with Overwatch. And we're looking to see if this Call of Duty squad can turn the tables here on this Northwood University team, as we're right around the corner from getting ourselves into games. Still just a matter of getting this lobby made and ready. But while we are waiting, let's take a look at our starting rosters. We do, of course, have Sauce NATO. We have A.K. Lavelle. We have Priestley and Brandon for our Saints squad. And for Northwood University, we have Smitzy, Bleepa, Slushy, and the Kiku. And then, okay, Slew's broadcasting this as well here on the Northwood side of things. So, fantastic. This match getting a bunch of exposure. Absolutely love to see it. And ready checks are going across the chat. So that's what I like to see. It means we'll be hopping in here very, very shortly. Of course, before we do end up popping in, a big thank you, of course, to the sponsors that make the St. Clair Saints varsity team possible. That being St. Clair College, the Zekelman School of Business and IT, PC Outlet, St. Clair College Alumni Association, Tim Hortons, and the St. Clair SRC. Big thank you as we get ready to hop in to our first map. It's going to be Garrison Hardpoint. Let's hop into it right here, right now, loading on in. We've seen Garrison a handful of times here for the Saints so far, a map they've definitely felt a little bit of comfortable with moving forward. And actually, before we do hop into the action, new here, trying this out for the first time this stream, throw yourself a prediction. Use some of the channel points that you've earned in this in the channel, and see if you can take the guess properly. And Saints take care of Northwood right here tonight. We're going to find Sauce NATO, but the Saints have been able to at least get control of the point for the time being. We do see Priestley up here one-on-one here with Slushy, not going to go in his favor. Actually, the point getting contested right now. Talking to coach, captain, player Dawson Lavelle, A.K. Lavelle, prior to this match starting, he was quite worried actually about this Northwood University squad. Said he saw their matches against other teams earlier in the season, and he thinks that this is going to be one of the teams that give them a run for their money. However, if they can take this, it's basically guaranteed that they can find themselves a top 3 position in the first half, or in the first split of this CCL league. So definitely love to see it. And right now, pretty even game actually to start things off here as we move to checkpoint, or hardpoint rather, number 2 Lavelle going to find himself on the board, and actually Saucenato doing his damnedest to keep himself on this hard point. Keep it safe. Saints continuing to add up on some of these points here. Lavelle barely going to go down to Kiku, and Bleepa going to blow up Priestley, so this could be an opportunity for Northwood to move in. Brandon right there, ready to go. Sauce is going to go down on the point, though. So now, hard point exposed and ready for the taking. Nice little sneak attack there from Brandon. Not going to be able to get by Slushy, however. And with less than 20 seconds to go, Saints are just going to opt to reroute themselves towards the next point. Saucenato going to get intercepted. Do have Lavelle, and we do have Priestley nearby. Lavelle going to try and go right through the car. Not going to find its mark, however. Is going to get flanked upon. And now, this is looking really good here for Northwood. They have control over the points. I think it's Smitzy on point and holding tight. And then keep himself tucked behind the cover. So he's going to be A-okay for the moment. Saucenato going to find the Kiku at least. Turn this into a push. Not necessarily, considering the spawns did go nicely into the favor of Northwood University. Sauce going to go down. Priestley going to at least get one. He's going to get taken down again, however. Kiku going to find or get taken down. Brandon, solid double kill to start this one off. Trying to push on over. 30 seconds left. Well, going to find himself a frag as well. And actually, the Saints have been able to flip over this hard point. Saucenato going to go down once again, but at least the Saints are in position. Can they hang on to this, however? See, Brandon ready to get somebody, however. Lavelle's going to get taken down on the other side. It's going to force Brandon to move, and that's going to force that point to go into the favor of Northwood once again. With only a couple seconds left to go, we're going to transition on over to this next hard point. Right now, Sauce is going to be able to find Slushy, so he's going to have the initial contest, but he is going to just peek out, and he's going to get himself taken down. Fortunately, there for the side of St. Clair. Still completely neutral, nobody on top of it until Bleepa is right there on the side of Northwood University. Going to get taken down by Priestley, however. Got ourselves a bit of a shooting range here with a lot of the Northwood University squad actually up on the high ground, able to shoot down upon the Saints. Going to allow them to get this point captured for at least a little while here. Currently 90-61. Of course, in these hardpoint matches, you do have to go to 250 to be victorious. So still, lots of time for the Saints, but this point is definitely not going into their favor as we see Brandon get taken down here by Bleepa. Sauce still trying to contest the best he can, but he's going to walk into two. Not going to be an advised attack in that regard. And with this nice hold here, this defensive hold coming out from Northwood University, Saints have not been able to even completely ignore the point that was currently being held. And it's going to make it so Northwood gets to hop on right away. Brandon, though, had himself the spawn in the background, so he really made a mess out of things here for the defense of Northwood. Sometimes it seems like those spawns can be randomized, but sometimes it works for you, sometimes it's your absolute bane. It was definitely the bane there for Northwood for at least a second, as that point, or that spawn from behind basically made it that Saints could actually get a two-pronged attack onto that point. Get it. They get the hard point for at least the time being, but it is neutralized for at least a second. Lavelle going to clean that one up. It's going to be Kiku going down. Taking the high ground, and now Saints actually have themselves a defensive hold here. Saucenato going to take care of Bleepa. Lavelle going to get taken down on the high ground, however. Got another spawn from behind. Smitzy going to find himself a nice double. Help move forward here. It's going to be Lavelle getting jumped on. Brandon gets jumped on. And now that point is in control of Northwood University. Nice little jump shot there from Bleepa. Take down Lavelle. With the next point underway. Still got a minute here. Nice fresh point, and the Saints get themselves a solid team wipe. Able to reposition themselves now. Get some additional points on the board. Brandon going to go down rather quickly, though. Saucenato from above is going to at least get the refrag onto Bleepa. Debating on peeking, and in fact, he's going to find the skull right away. Finds Kiku as well, and finds Bleepa. Beautifully done here from Priestley. Can he find himself the ace, essentially? The delayed ace, taking all four of them down. Nicely done, Priestley. But eventually it does end up going sour for the Saints as they look to transition over to the next hard point, and it looks like Brandon's going to lead the charge here for this St. Clair squad. Did they see Smitzy to his right? He is, in fact, going to be able to react in time. Beautifully done. Priestley caught reloading, going to get taken down, but the refrag going to come out nonetheless. Lavelle and Slushy like ships passing in the night, not realizing each other are there until just now. Finally, it's going to be Lavelle getting taken down. Good defense here from Sauce and Brandon. Brandon on the point as of this moment. Last person alive for the Saints to try and get a hold, and he's going to get taken down from above. Back and forth continues with the Kiku finding himself a double, possibly a triple. Nope, Priestley's going to shut that down nice and quick. And Saints are going to try and regroup here. Granted, 25 seconds left to go. They don't have to force if they really don't want to. Going to give it one more try, but then they're going to end up bouncing all the way back. Saints looking ready to push for this next one. We see it down to the south of this point. Brandon already technically on the point, but at the same time so is Slushy right on the other side. And right now, Brandon's not looking the correct direction. He's going to turn around right in the nick of time. Slushy crawling his way over. Don't peek the other way just in the last possible second. And he looks away at the right moment there for the Saints. Priestley finds himself a double, and then Brandon going to secure one more. Going to get them a lot of points here on the board. Sauce spots the one. Smitzy going to outduel him in this spot, however. Brandon, only one anywhere near the point as of right now. The nice little jump shot there from Smitzy is going to at least get refragged here by Lavelle. Saucenado going to find himself another. The Kiku goes down. Point at this moment neutralized until Lavelle literally just crawling just enough to actually get onto the point itself. Brandon is here for reinforcements as well, guarding the other doorway. So good positioning here for the Saints to try and hang on to this for at least a little bit longer. Basically can tie the game up with this point. But can they get to the next one? We do see Northwood University already in the north, ready to capture the next point as soon as it unlocks. Well, lots of members on the side of Northwood. They're dropping like flies as of this moment. Brandon's going to find one more. Gets a little couple shots onto Bleepa, but Bleepa not going to go down, so he's going to be able to at least get that first initial capture. Priestley going to find one. Saucenado going to find the other. Does spot Smitzy. Wraps around. Nice shot. Does he take down the Kiku? He's not going to be able to do so. So Northwood hanging on by a thread by keeping themselves in the lead. First one to hit 200. 200 to 179, so a very, very close first game between these two teams. We do see the Saints get the opportunity to move on forward here. And lots of kills going into the favor of St. Clair at this moment. Priestley with a nice long-range shot onto the Kiku and Slushy. Beautifully done. That's going to give Saints a bunch of points as well. The way it looks right here, right now, it doesn't look like Northwood's going to be able to breach this, so solid job from the Saints. Brandon is going to go down, but Priestley is going to at least go 1 for 1 as he does go down. Lavelle, where is he at? He's going to try and get that player from below, just barely getting around him. Smitzy getting tagged up a tiny bit. Lavelle getting rather beat up, but the Saints basically just retreated all the way back into the point itself. And now they might be able to get themselves the lead here in this game. 2-12. Shots fired towards Priestley, going to go down, but Brandon is still here. Looking to get something started. As Lavelle and Saucenado available as well. Only 30 more points here for the Saints to take this one. They're not going to be able to do it off of a full capture of this point, and the grenade is going to make things just that much more difficult here for the Saints. So Northwood going to take the point for the second. Nice little stun grenade there from, I think that was Smitzy. Going to stun the Saints up and just line them up, knock them down. Brandon, nice little shot there, going to find Slushy. Bleepa going to win that battle, but then Saints going to get the crumbs here for this point and make it so they only need another 12 points to win this hardpoint matchup. But at the same time, Northwood, if they do hold this point, it is going to be the victors in this first game. So a tough one here. This is going to come down all the way to this final point. We see Brandon pushing forward, looks for Bleepa, not going to find him. We have Saucenado though with the refrag alongside Lavelle. And Saints, they are 8 points away. They just need to get on top of it. The grenades are really going in the favor right now of Northwood. The Kiku on the other side, stalling out this point. Brandon swings. He's going to find one. Lavelle finds another one as well. 4 points right now. Saints looking to take this home. Nobody to contest here. And St. Clair College are going to beat Northwood here on this Garrison hardpoint. And what a way to start off this series. I knew that it was going to be a tough one. And the back and forth nature of this game is looking absolutely fantastic here. Priestley, of course, this is his extended ace of the team, or he did take 4 of the players down basically by himself. So fantastic start here for St. Clair College as we get ready to go into game number 2, which I do have the map list ahead of me here, somewhere in my absolute piles upon piles of browser windows. But it looks like we're going to have ourselves, of course, Search and Destroy, but it's going to be on Moscow. So a map that St. Clair has definitely played to death so far in this season and in past seasons, so no real surprises going to be showing up for them this time by. And it's going to be a quick second for Northwood to get themselves a rehost. So overall, a very crazy game. I know not necessarily the hypest as usual, trying to keep myself a little bit down here so that my son can fall asleep, but the glories of casting from home. Got to take whatever measures possible to make sure I'm still giving you guys all the action here on the Saints Gaming CA channel. Now, I think you still do have a couple more moments here. Oh no, the prediction has gone through, and as of right now, looks like the predictions have everybody voting that St. Clair are going to take down Northwood here today. So definitely what I like to see, the hometown crowd really showing up here to play. But now let's see. So Moscow Hardpoint, again, like I was saying, this is going to be a map they're rather familiar with. Let's take a look actually at the other maps that will be played here tonight in this matchup. So first game 2, Moscow Hardpoint, Moscow Search and Destroy. Then we go to game number 3. That's going to be Checkmate Control. So Checkmate has been a little bit hit or miss so far for our Saints squad. And we're going to see it twice if that does end up happening, if it ends up going all the way, because Checkmate Hardpoint is the pick for game number 4. And then if it does all come down to a game number 5, we will be going to Raid, Search, and Destroy. So get the new map in there, and we've seen Raid pretty consistently this season for control maps. Control maps, but not necessarily for search. So it'll be interesting to see if we do end up getting there. This was an extremely close game, so I would not be surprised to see these two teams go all the way here today. The back and forth nature, I mean, that was probably one of the hardest and the closest hardpoint matches that I've seen so far for our St. Clair squad. They hung on to it, clawed their way back from behind, and managed to successfully take down Northwood for game number 1, but still have many more to go. Just getting Northwood's production in here before we hop into game 2. Getting a couple R's in the chat, so it looks like we're just about good to go. There we go. Thank you for bearing with me, of course. Definitely an exciting matchup here. Going to keep the same lineups here. No substitutions, of course. I don't know exactly with Northwood's roster as of right now, but of course, if Saints do need them, they do have Corey SNP ready to go in the sidelines. I know he's still in the chat as well. Well, not in the chat, but in the team comms as well, like cheering everybody on and whatnot. But of course, his view is the exact same as ours, not exactly in the game. No coaching or anything like that happening here. So anyway, game 2 is just about to get underway. In fact, let's load ourselves into it. Now, the Saints, as of late, their Search and Destroy, it went from being one of their strongest game modes to I feel like one of their weakest. But at the same time, it would all been in the CCL kickoff tournament where that happened. Because everything else that we've seen so far in the CCL's regular season has just been Saints basically 6-1-ing everybody for the most part. Now, Saints going to be on the defensive side of things to start things off. Lavelle going to be the first one making contact here with Smitzy, but he's going to get a little bit worse for wear, but move forward. Saucenato on flank duty, it looks like. Shots fired for Lavelle. Finds Slushy, but not going to take him down. It's trading blows, moving forward. Lavelle going to hang on just in the nick of time here. And Priestley's going to be the first casualty, actually. A nice little shot there from Slushy to take care of him there. Lavelle going around as the bomb does get planted. Smitzy going to find Lavelle and catching him off guard a little bit, but Brandon is at least going to go 1 for 1. It's going to be all down to Saucenado, who's going to get caught in the window. And Northwood going to get the first point here in this search and destroy matchup. And basically, as soon as Smitzy planted the bomb, charged on out, Lavelle was right there ready for him. And Smitzy going to win that duel and just swing it over. Brandon did eventually take him down, but it ended up being the 1 for 1. And not going to be able to win this one off of 1 for 1s. With the Saints on attack this time by, it's going to be Saucenado as the carrier. We do have Brandon leading the charge. Did spot out Bleepa. So Priestley in the building. Going to probably look for his opportunity to get the attack off, but he's not going to get himself the opportunity. Back and forth battle here as Saucenado does find 1, but right now, 1 player in the favor of the side of Northwood until that shot from Brandon, but then Lavelle does go down as well. Slushy getting peppered, but actually going to turn this right around on Brandon. So Northwood, a fantastic start here for this game number 2 as they go up 2-0 in the search and destroy. Oh my gosh, Kiku by a thread actually winning that battle too. Literally like 1 HP. Nicely done. Let's see if the Saints can try this defense one more time here and turn it around. What kind of adjustments will they make? We do see everybody on the side of Northwood all beelining it towards that A site. So let's hop on over there. We do see Sauce back and forth here with Kiku, the 1 for 1. Priestley getting dropped here pretty quickly. Smitzy going to get the jump onto Saucenado. So now it's going to be the 2 versus 3. Lavelle on the flank, and actually, never mind, we have ourselves a 2-on-2 now, as Brandon is going to be able to secure the 1 shot. Where is Lavelle? He's on his way back. He could get the flank. Slushy going to go down to Brandon. Can they pinch off Smitzy, however? See in just a second if he can, in fact, get the job done. Smitzy actually running for the hills. He might be trying to make the switch over to the B site, or just completely fake him and try to go back towards that A site. If he wants to go back to that A site, he would have made the read so beautifully. But unfortunately, he doesn't have all the vision like we do. So, going to run all the way back towards B. And Saints, actually, the fake of the fake of the fake coming up clutch here for Smitzy. And now Saints are going to be a little bit confused. If we're sitting at the A site, they're like, oh god, now what? I have to go and try and hunt down Smitzy first of all, and then get the defuse on that bomb. Brandon leading the charge, may have spotted out Smitzy actually, so kind of know what they're getting into. Lavelle thinking about going through the window, but not going to end up doing so. Brandon moving in towards the bomb itself. Going to take himself to the window from behind. Lavelle gets taken down by Smitzy. Rough spot here for St. Clair. Can Brandon find the kill? Oh, Smitzy had his back turned. Can he get the kill within, or get the defuse on this bomb within the next 10 seconds? I think he'll be able to do so. And Saints are going to get themselves on the board. 3 seconds to spare. Very unlucky there for Smitzy. Hopped out the door and just looked the wrong direction. Best play going to go over to Brandon off that opening frag. Make that 2. Now, one thing other than like the CCL matches that we've seen so far this season may not be telling this tale, but I know when I was looking at the CCL's kickoff tournament, one thing that was definitely an outlier here for the Saints was Priestley's oftentimes negative KDA going forward into this series, when normally he was one of the lead fraggers on the squad, but something has just not been clicking for him here this season. And making himself extremely volatile. Speaking of volatile, that round just got done nice and quick. Northwood University going to find themselves their 3rd win after a good solid double coming out here from the Kiku. Yeah, so far Brandon just on an absolute tear here for the St. Clair squad, sitting there with 6 eliminations by himself in this game, and it's definitely spun around that one round where they did win, and making some of these rounds a lot closer than they probably in theory should have been. And we're going to see Lavelle go down again as the Kiku gets the jump on them. Saints are going to rotate, but Smitzy was thinking about coming on up, and actually Saucedo does spot him. Doesn't quite take him down, however. Brandon shots fired towards Smitzy, going to tag him up a little bit, but not a whole heck of a lot. Going to get jumped upon here by Slushy, but Slushy's going to go down by Priestley. A little bit of backup, and okay, and that kind of exposes everything here, as the Saints are all up to Saucedo, the 1v2, to try and take over this B-bomb site. Shots fired, but yeah, going up against 2. And Northwood going to bring this up to a 4-1. Saints have been 6-1ing people pretty much this entire time this season on Search and Destroy. And it looks like they're Northwood's on pace to give it back to them. That's definitely the weird thing. We see the wrap up here from Bleepa to finish things off, but it's been weird. The CCL kickoff tournament did not go exactly in the Saints' favor. It wasn't necessarily the best performance ever. But then the CCL regular season so far, we've had 3 3-0s in the favor of St. Clair, with Northwood now being the thorn in the Saints' side, so to speak, as it's now their turn for the attack. Taking a look towards that A site, we gotta see if Lavelle can get himself something started here. He's having himself a bit of a cold streak so far in this search round as well. Granted, he may have taken a lot of heat, but he's actually going to hang on to this for at least the time being. We see Brandon Saucedo near that A site, and there we go. Lavelle is going to find his first kill out of the game alongside Priestley, 2 members of the Saints that were playing a little bit cold, finally getting themselves on the board. And actually, Lavelle does not realize it, but he could be right around the corner from taking Bleepa down, but Bleepa's actually going to get the jump on him. Shot from Priestley, not going to connect either, but Brandon and Saucedo going to clean them up. 2-on-1, 40 seconds left for the Saints to actually plant this thing. And there's Brandon. He's going to go down, and Bleepa with a huge 1v2 gets the jump onto Sauce after he tries to get away from the bomb. But unfortunately, not enough time to make that happen. Bleepa, a huge play to take down both of the Saints in this play. Gets the pistol kill, too. Beautifully done. Yeah, now match point here for, or not match point, but game point rather, for Northwood to make this a 1-1 game if they can keep this pace up right around the corner. Saints have to be flawless now, which, depending on which team shows up today, is either pressure makes them go absolutely nuts or they just completely shut down. That's a good start though. Priestley going to find himself an elimination here with that Semtex. Now Saucedo defending the best as he possibly can here. Number 6, Brandon, trying to get some shots off alongside Priestley. Trying to hold Slushy down. He's going to be able to take him out in this situation. Shots from Brandon. Going to take down Smitzy. Bomb carrier down. It's going to be all up to Bleepa to try and do the 1v4. I mean, we did just see him do the 1v2, but to get the 1v4 pulled off would definitely be a little bit interesting, as we do see him take down Priestley actually, but Saucedo is going to shut that down. Saints going to at least bring themselves to 2 points here in the Search and Destroy matchup. Saints back on the offense. See if they can turn this one into their favor. They actually look like they're going down low, so they very well could be trying to make a B push. We do see Priestley making the move, but down below they don't realize that Slushy is actually kind of long. It has sight lines on this area, and it's going to be able to get the opening fire. But Brandon, again, he's just been on an absolute tear so far with these frags. How's he even spotting Smitty from that far away? Gosh, these young guns and their eyesights have me extremely jealous, which is probably the most boomer thing I have ever said on cast. I am so sorry, but definitely a fantastic start for Brandon. But granted, Saucedo is going to go down. So they're 4-7. Having a bit of a quiet game, but not completely cold here for Sauce. Brandon going to come around. He's going to be in a collision course here with Bleepa. They both recognize that they're both right there and ready to go. Brandon going to be the first to open fire. And actually, from the window, Smitzy went almost jump scare style, trying to find Brandon, but not going to make contact. Meanwhile, all of the Saints, they've completely rotated over to this A site, and they should be able to plant this nice and quick. There's just been enough of a hold-up here for Brandon. And in fact, he gets himself another one here by himself on point. He finds the Kiku. Kiku's going to take him down. The bomb is planted, and Lavelle going to find himself another. So it's going to be all up to Bleepa to try and do the 1v2. We saw him do it before. This is much better compared to a 1v4. 30 seconds to try to make this play. The Saints are a little bit more spread out this time. Priestley going to spot him out. Knows he's on site. Gunfight coming down. It's going to go to Bleepa. Where is Lavelle? Lavelle's going to be the last one alive here for Saints, and he's going to get the jump on them. Huge clutch round here for a.k.a. Lavelle. And the Saints are going to bring this a little bit closer. Keep themselves in the fight. 5-3, still in the favor of Northwood. But this was on pace to be a 6-1. Saints back on defense. We do see Northwood University making the push towards A, and they find Brandon right away. That's a huge pickoff here for the Kiku. Blinded right here for Sauce. He's going to get himself surrounded if he isn't careful. He's going to take some shots. Bleepa going to find his mark. This one's looking like the end here for St. Clair's run here on this search and destroy matchup. Bomb is planted. And the Saints have to deal with 4. Priestley and Lavelle. Try and clutch this one up. Lavelle gets jumped on by Slushy, but he's going to actually win that one. Priestley is not going to win that, however, as Bleepa is going to take him down again. So Lavelle with the 1v3. Can he ace the team himself and get the defuse? He has to really be quick about it, but it's not going to be the case. That was definitely a tall task, and Northwood University going to win this second game here. 6-3 on the Moscow Search and Destroy. So a solid attempts, but Northwood going to tie the series up 1-1. Of course, best of 5 action here for the Saints here tonight. And the next matchup, I did mention it before, checkmate control right around the corner, but it looks like the teams need to do another remake to get this lobby just back and forth, it looks like. So I'm going to take a very quick break to get ready for game number 3 between Northwood University and St. Clair College. Don't go anywhere.